Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today, it's going to be a huge eShop deals video with over 50 games on today's list. Now just a quick reminder, in case you're new to the channel or the series, that I don't go over the deals that were mentioned in last week's video. And I know that a lot of those games are still on sale. So after you're done with this video, I always recommend you check that video out up above. Also, about halfway through this video, we'll be announcing this week's winner of the $5 eShop gift card. If you want to find out how you can participate in next week's giveaway, all you need to do is tune in to our under $5 eShop deal video that comes out about midweek. Now, last thing, with the massive amount of games on this week's list, we might be moving a little quicker than usual. So don't forget to hit that like button if you like the content and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Now let's get started. Now, our first entry is actually going to be a series that has multiple games on sale this week. And when we have a series with multiple games, I'll just be pointing out my top picks of the week and mentioning the other ones during the description. And the first series is the Resident Evil series that actually has 4 games on sale this week. But my top pick for this week is definitely the Resident Evil Revelations, both the first and second entry that are 60% off for $7.99. Now, what I love about these games is they are ports from the 3DS, so they are really a nice remake of what we got in a portable console. On the Switch, obviously, you have the choice between playing it in handheld or finally playing it on a television. You can also pick up Resident Evil 5 and 6 that are on sale this week. However, they're only 25% off, and those are my least favorite entries in the series, focusing way more on the action section rather than the horror. Now, our next entry is going to be Stardew Valley. This is a game a lot of people have been waiting for it to fall back on sale because we have been over a year without a sale on this game, and it is now 33% off for $9.99. Now, this is probably the best all-around farming sim that we currently have on the Switch, with a ton of content, a ton of things to do. If you've ever wanted a life/farming sim, definitely pick up Stardew Valley. On top of it, the deals don't come around very often. Now next, we have Super Mario Party at $41.99 because it is 30% off. Now 30% off for a first-party game is not a bad sale, and previously I would have maybe not recommended this game, but with the latest update adding online content, this game is finally worth it. Just be warned that a new Mario Party is going to be hitting in the next few months, so if you are waiting on that one, it's maybe not the best time to invest in the older model. Now next on the list, we have Diablo III back to 50% off at $29.99. Now if you're into top-down action dungeon crawling, the Diablo series always delivers on the action part. My personal favorite is Diablo II, and I am super excited that we're going to be getting a remaster this year. But you know what? In the meantime, the third entry at $30 is a really decent investment that you can sink a lot of hours into. Now next, we have SpongeBob SquarePants The Battle for Bikini Bottom at 33% off for $20.09. Now this is a 3D platformer with a collect-a-ton nature. However, it is a remaster of a game that has a cult following. And ultimately, it's just a really solid 3D platformer. Maybe not the best one on the Switch, but at $20, I do think you're getting your money's worth here. Next, we have Mario and Sonic at the Olympics Tokyo 2020 that is 33% off for $39.99. Now, this is a game that is a really fun party game. I especially like the retro-styled events that they throw into this game. I just want to give a fair warning that I've already seen this game at $30. However, at $40 for a semi-first-party title, it is still a decent deal. If you want to, there's all a free downloadable demo for the game. Next, we have Mario Tennis Aces at 30% off for $41.99, and you'll see this will be the trend for first-party titles this week. Now in this game, basically you are Mario and you are playing tennis. This is another game that is best enjoyed with another player, either competing together or against each other. It is an awesome co-op game. Now next, we have Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, once again at its lowest price ever of 35% off for $9.74. Now this is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up with a true retro style to it, and another game with a huge cult following. On top of it, the soundtrack is among one of the best you can find in pretty much any Nintendo Switch game. If you are into beat-em-ups, you don't have this game yet, it is a definite pickup for this week. Next, we have Moonlighter, the Complete Edition, 75% off for $7.24. Once again, a lowest ever price for the game. Now, this is a roguelite dungeon crawler, and this deal actually hit just after I published last week eShop deals, and I was hearing about it all week, so I could not wait to talk about it in this week's video. If you're into roguelite dungeon crawlers, I would say that Moonlighter is once again among one of the best we have on the Switch. And at only $7.24, this is a no-brainer for anyone in that genre. Now next, we have a game that I will touch upon, but I'm not sure I'm necessarily recommending for this week, and that is Splatoon 2 at 20% off for $47.99. Now, for some reason, this first-party title didn't get the 30% like the others. And with Splatoon 3 semi-around the corner, I do think they should have been giving a bigger discount for this game. But nonetheless, if you're into the online co-op play, this is an awesome game to have in your library. Next, we have a collection that gets always a regular mention on the channel, the Borderlands Legendary Collection that is back to 60% off for $19.99. Basically, value-wise, for a 3-pack of looter shooters, this game is an excellent pickup every time it's on sale. Yes, the sales do come around fairly regularly, but nonetheless, at $20, you get a ton of content for a low price. Only thing, make sure you have a ton of space left on your microSD card because they do take up upwards of 20 gigs. Next, we have Plants vs. Zombies Battle for Neighborville at 35% off for $25.99. Now this is another awesome online multiplayer game, and on top of it, what I love about this game is you can get into it in a serious fashion or just as a casual player, and it's tons of fun both ways around. There's also a one-player mode, but I would say that the most fun in this game is going to be in the multiplayer online competitive scene. Now next, we have Risk of Rain 2 at 60% off for $9.99. Another game at its lowest price ever. And this is a 3D action roguelite. Once again, with an excellent cooperative mode. And what I love about this game is when it's launched, it did have its slight issues, but it's been patched up a ton and now it's among one of the best, once again, of its genre. Now next, we have another series that is completely on sale, the Overcooked series. And I'm showing you here Overcooked All You Can Eat at 25% off for $29.99. Now in this pack, you basically get it all. You get a remastered version of both Overcooked 1, Overcooked 2, and all the DLC, online play ready. It is an excellent entry for someone who wants to get everything at once. However, just to let you know, you also have Overcooked 2 that is about $12.49, or Overcooked 1 on its own that's only $5. So anyone who wants to get into the Overcooked series this week, any one of the games is an excellent entry point. Now next, we have the excellent Mario + Rabbids Kingdom Battle at 75% off for $14.99. As the title suggests, it's the Mario franchise combined with the Rabbids and thrown into an XCOM-style shooter game. Sounds crazy, but it really does work fantastically. On top of it, a sequel has been announced for next year. Next, we have a first-party title that actually very rarely goes on sale, Hyrule Warriors, the Definitive Edition at 30% off, once again, $41.99. Now, as the title suggests, this is all the characters from the Zelda series thrown into a warrior-style game. We got Age of Calamity earlier in the year. This is the predecessor that was actually a remaster of a 3DS game. However, this version has a ton more content, and if you want a game that you can probably get more than 100+ hours of play out of if you want to really unlock everything, well, Hyrule Warriors is definitely a good pickup for that. Next, we have Sonic Mania at 50% off for $9.99. Now, if you want the current best Sonic game on the Switch, this is it, in my opinion, right here. This is a fan-made game by people who really love the Sonic series. It is a 2D game, a reimagining of some of the original stages, new stages thrown in. Basically, you get the best of everything. Next, we have another Sega title with Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD at 66% off for $9.99. Once again, getting its lowest price ever. And now finally, at this price, I feel very comfortable suggesting this title. This is maybe not the best Super Monkey Ball ever, but you know what? For $10, I do think there's quite a bit of fun to be had in this game if you're a fan of the series. At the same time, with the new one coming out, it's a perfect time to catch up on this one. Now next, we have Enter the Gungeon at 50% off for $7.49. Now this is a bullet hell dungeon crawler, and once again, one of the best entries in this type of game that we currently have on the Switch. This is a game that even at full price, I recommend easily. So when you can get it at 50% off, if you're into the genre once again, this is a no-brainer. Now next is another excellent collection that is always going to get a shout out, the Bioshock Collection at 60% off for $19.99. Once again, value-wise, you are getting a ton of content here with 3 Bioshock games, which are basically FPS games with a little mix of horror and adventure. On top of it, once again, the only thing you gotta watch out for is that once again, the download size is quite big. Now next, we have the Survivalists at 50% off for $12.49. Now, if you're into the survival genre and you also enjoy a pixel art cutesy twist to it, the Survivalist is going to be a game right up your alley. On top of it, a lot centers around befriending the monkeys on the island to help them build your structures, defend your shelters. Overall, just an excellent game with, once again, a free downloadable demo. Next, we have Ukulele, still at 75% off for $9.99. Another amazing 3D action platformer, very along the lines of Banjo-Kazooie. Actually, some of the developers of that game actually worked on this one. It is an excellent pickup, definitely worth it at only $10. Now, while we're on the subject of 3D platformers, we have the Spyro Reignited Trilogy at 50% off for $19.99. Once again, you get 3 excellent games that are remasters of the originals in one pack for only $20. Now, these games are great for fans of the originals and even, I would say, younger players just getting into 3D platformers. The remasters are done with a ton of quality. Once again, though, be careful. A larger download size, make sure you have the space on your microSD. Now, the LEGO series is another series that pretty much a lot of the games are on sale this week. I'm showing you my top pick, which is LEGO Marvel Super Heroes 2 at $7.49 because it is 75% off. This is my favorite, not only because it's the cheapest, but also because it has an original storyline and I love my superheroes. But you can also pick up the Jurassic Park series at about $10, the Harry Potter series at $12.49, and lastly, the DC supervillains at around $12. So now, just before moving on, it's time to pick out this week's winner of the $5 eShop gift card. And this week's winner is going to be Grovel, who basically said, I picked up SteamWorld and choices that matter. My backlog is getting insane right now. So unfortunately, another $5 eShop gift card is probably not going to help with that, but I hope you appreciate it nonetheless. Now, all you need to do to claim your $5 eShop gift card is reach out to me in my pinned comment down below in this video. Next, we have Mortal Kombat 11 at 60% off for $23.99. Now, this is an excellent fighting game, and what I love about this pack is you basically get all the DLC in one fell swoop for only $24. On top of it, what's super interesting is now they have really invested in storyline. Now, if Mortal Kombat isn't your kind of fighting game, we also have this Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection at 50% off for $14.99. Now, in this pack, you get 12 amazing Street Fighter games, going from the original entry to Street Fighter 2 to the Alpha series and ending with Street Fighter 3 all the way to Third Strike. All of these games are amazing on their own. Put them all together for only $15. It is a steal. Now next, we have Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time at 25% off for $29.99. Now I know we got a new Crash packs a little while back, but for someone who would already have some of the entries and just wants Crash 4 at $29.99, this is still a decent pickup. And the game quality is top notch here. Now next we have another series that is on sale, the Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm series, that is all 70% off at $5.99 for basically the first, second, and third entry. Now there is a triple pack that is an even better deal, but in case you just wanted to pick up one of these games, these are still worth mentioning. These are games that are directed to the fans of Naruto and that are basically playing through the events of the storyline of the anime. Next, we have Puyopio Tetris 2 at 50% off for $19.99. Now this is a regular mainstay in my household. I play with my wife and kids all the time. It's great because each player gets to choose whether they're playing Tetris or Puyo. There is a storyline mode. Basically, you've got a little bit of everything here. If you like puzzle type games, definitely get this one. It's an excellent entry. Now next, I almost forgot from earlier, we also have the Crash Insane Trilogy that is 50% off for $19.99. Same thing as with Crash 4. Obviously, the cheapest way to get it is if the packs for all these games together go back on sale. But if you only wanted to pick up the Insane Trilogy, this is nonetheless a very good deal with the remasters of the 3 first Crash games for only $19.99. Fair warning, the first one is fairly difficult. The other two get so-so, but be forewarned that Crash 1 is maybe not the easiest game ever. Now next, we have Going Under that is still at 50% off for $9.99. Another roguelite dungeon crawler, but where you're playing through failed tech startup companies. It's a really original premise. It has a ton of really funny dialogue and some pretty great visuals. If you're into the roguelite genre and you want something a little different, give this one a try. Next, we have the XCOM 2 collection at 70% off for $14.99. Now this is an excellent strategy shooter series based around taking back the Earth that's been taken over by aliens. Now, I know people will say that the visuals are better on other consoles, but for the portability factor of having XCOM 2 in a handheld format, I will always pick it up on the Switch. Now next, we have Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered at 35% off for $25.99. Awesome arcade racing series, among one of my favorites on the Switch. I just want to give a fair warning, I've already seen better deals on the physical version of this game, so before picking it up digitally here, make sure you're not into physical media and you can find it somewhere at around $20. Next, we have My Friend Pedro at 50% off for $9.99. Now, if you want an over-the-top action shooter, look no further than My Friend Pedro. It has some crazy physics, some amazing action, and really ultimately just tons and tons of crazy fun. Now next we have another amazing arcade racing entry with Burnout Paradise Remastered at 50% off for $14.99. Now at least here, the physical deals, I've never seen it as cheap as this, so you're pretty safe to pick it up on the eShop. Now this is basically an arcade racer with over-the-top action. If that is your style, then Burnout Paradise should be a definite pickup. It is an excellent entry. Next, we have another game with a cult following, Catherine Full Body at 50% off for $24.99. Now this game has a very strong anime style to it. It is overall an action puzzler all about a guy cheating on his girlfriend. So this is a storyline that has enticed quite a few people, and I'll be honest, I didn't think I'd like it at first, and I really got pulled into this game. Next, we have a collection that is a must-have for any retro gamer, the Sega Classics Collection at 50% off for $14.99. Now in this pack, count them, you get over 50 classic Sega games, and we're not talking about lesser known bad titles. We're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, we're talking about Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, Rise Star. These are all excellent entries in a bunch of genres. If you're into retro gaming, there is no better value, in my opinion, currently on the Switch than the Sega Classics Collection. Now we have one last Crash game to mention, and by the way, I'm doing the Crash series separately because each game is such a different entry from the other, but we have Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled at 60% off for $15.99. Now this is a kart racer featuring the Crash Bandicoot characters, and personally, I actually prefer this game to Mario Kart. Fair warning I'll give you, however, it is quite a bit more difficult than Mario Kart, so it is going to be needing a little bit of practice before you start winning races in this game. Next, we have the Rayman Legends Definitive Edition at 75% off for $9.99. Now this is a classic styled 2D platformer with, yes, semi-3D rendered backgrounds, but overall it is an amazing 2D platformer. If you have not played the Rayman series, this is one of the best entries, and on top of it, there's a free downloadable demo. Now next, we have another one of my favorite 2D platformers to give a shout out, Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom at 60% off for $15.99. Now this is, as I said, one of my favorite 2D platformers with some Metroidvania elements thrown in. You play a character, he basically has to swap between different forms to accomplish different challenges. The animations are great, the music is great, and overall the gameplay is one of a kind. At $40, it might be a huge investment, but at $16, it is definitely worth it. Next is a bundle that I myself was waiting to get a sale on, the Wargroove Double Trouble bundle, which is basically Wargroove plus the DLC at 50% off for $9.99. Now this is a strategy combat game. Think Advanced Wars, but with a medieval fantasy setting. On top of it, if you're into that genre and you're waiting for the Advanced Wars remasters to come out, this is an excellent game pack at only $10 to scratch that itch while we wait. Next, we have the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle at 50% off for $9.99. Now, it's too funny because we were mentioning this bundle when I was doing my stream this week. It has 6 amazing arcade-style beat 'em up games in it, among one of my favorites, which is Knights of the Round. But you know what? All of the entries in this series are pretty much classic beat 'em up games, and at $10, it is an easy pickup for any fan of that genre. Next, we have another game that almost never goes on sale, Skullgirls Second Encore at 40% off for $14.99. Now this is a 2D fighting game, but that is off the beaten path. You won't find huge circuits playing Skullgirls, but it is nonetheless an amazing fighter with some beautifully hand-drawn graphics. Next, we have the only sub $5 game that is making it on today's list because the list is so packed, Guacamelee Super Turbo Edition, 75% off for $3.74. Now I'm talking about this game here because unfortunately the deal will not make it to Wednesday's video, so if you want to pick this game up, make sure to act fast. It is an amazing Metroidvania, one of the best we have on the Switch, where you're playing as a Mexican wrestler with some beautiful, colorful environments. Now, if Guacamelee seemed interesting, we also have its sequel, Guacamelee 2 Complete, at 70% off for $6.74. Everything I said about the first game applies here. If you're into the Metroidvania genre, this is an excellent game to pick up. It is even more refined than the first one. Now next, we have River City Girls at 30% off for $20.99. Now this is a spiritual successor to River City Ransom from the NES. It's a beautifully retro-themed beat-em-up. If you missed my stream this week, this game is tons and tons of fun, and once again, one of the best beat-em-ups on the Switch. Next, we have Team Sonic Racing at 50% off for $14.99. Another kart-styled racing game, this time featuring the Sonic the Hedgehog characters, but this one does have a slightly different feeling to it. It is one of those easier racers to pick up, but this one really is centered around team gameplay, so if you want something a little different, definitely check out this game. Now next on the list, we have The Huntdown at 50% off for $9.99. Overall, this is one of the best 2D action platformers we have on the Switch. On top of it, if you're into that 80s style of gameplay, well, you know what? This game has tons of references to those classic 80s movies. Next, we have Fighting Rage at 50% off for $9.99. Another retro-style beat-em-up, but another excellent one. And honestly, during my stream this week, someone asked me what my top 5 beat-em-ups would be on the Switch, and I told them that off the top of my head, I was sure to forget a game. You know what? This is the game I forgot. This would definitely be among the top beat-em-ups we currently have on the Switch. Now, as tradition lately, we can't do one of these lists with at least one shoot-em-up, and here we have it, Raiden 5 Director's Cut, 70% off, $8.99. Honestly, one of the longest running top-down shoot-em-up series. On top, this one adds in co-op play. It is an excellent entry in the series. Maybe not my top entry, but it's definitely up there. Now next, we have 20XX at 50% off for $8.99. Now this is basically for any fan of Mega Man, or more specifically, Mega Man X. Imagine a perfect reproduction of the Mega Man X-like mechanics, but with a roguelite gameplay. I had tons of fun with this game, and it is a definite easy pickup at $8.99. Now, our before last entry on today's list will be Super Magbot at 44% off for $9.99. Now, this is an amazing 2D platformer that is very difficult. Think Super Meat Boy, but with a totally different premise, where in this game you can't jump and you really have to manipulate magnetic forces to make your way around the stages. It is truly an amazing game if you have a tolerance for difficult platformers. On top of it, once again, it has a free downloadable demo. Now, last but definitely not least on the series, we have the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove at 25% off for $29.99. Now, this is actually my favorite 2D platformer on the Nintendo Switch. When I did my list of top 2D platformers, this was at the top of my list. And honestly, if you're going to pick up the series, you're better off jumping right into the Treasure Trove unless you already own some of the entries. A couple of them are on sale on their own, but with this $29.99, you get the whole series, and once you jump into one game, you're going to want to keep playing the others. So that was it for this week's list. It is crazy. We went through over 50 games. And what is amazing, once again, is this week, there's almost a perfect mix of games with a little bit of every genre for everyone. As usual, I love hearing from all of you. Let me know what games you picked up from this week's sales. Also, I need to take a couple of seconds as usual to really thank our channel supporters. They help us out a ton and keep our channel going. And don't forget on the way out that if you do like this content, to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when all my future releases come out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.